Hi guys, I want to show you how to make a bunting or a banner. This is my first time doing one. I'm gonna demonstrate how I cut my flags down. They're double-sided, and then I'm gonna decorate these, but for the decoration part, I'm gonna fast forward it and do a voiceover. So just this part's gonna be me talking at a normal speed, and then I'm gonna show you how I decorate all of these, and then, but that time I'll speed it up for that. Okay, so I like to do, well, I shouldn't say I like to do because this is, like I said, my first time doing it, but when I do other projects, I like when I double side the paper because it makes it a little sturdier. So this is just regular cardstock, and I started off with a 12 by 12 piece of paper that I cut down to 5 by 12. So each one of these were cut down to 5 by 12, each shape. So I'm gonna demonstrate the triangle and then the little flag kind. So this is my, oh, I didn't cut it down yet. So this is my paper. I'm gonna cut it down to 5 by 12. Okay, then once you have it cut down, I think that I'm in frame here. Once you have it cut down, you want to fold it. I always use the edge of my cutter because it gives me a perfect, I know that I'm perfectly centered and it's exactly in half. So fold it in half. And now for the triangle, I know that this is 5 inches long. So I take my scoreboard and I score this just a little, one little teeny tiny score for the triangle. Well, for both actually, but for the triangle, it's 2.5. So I know I'm in center. And then I line up my cutting or my guillotine with the line and the tip of where the bunting is, or the triangle is. So here's my line, there's my tip, and then I cut. If it's a little uneven like that, just line it up again. It doesn't really matter. You can leave it that way, but if you're a little bit OCD like me, then you can't leave it that way. Then I flip it over and do the same thing, but now you just line it up with the tip to tip on your board. So tip to tip, and there's your triangle. So I know this is exactly all my flags, all my triangle shapes are gonna be exactly the same size. Then for the other shape, I don't actually know what that shape is called, but again, cut this down 5 by 12. Use my little thing, fold it. Now for this one, you do the same thing, but we cut it differently. So again, on the scoreboard, I score it 2.5, and I went up about 1.5 inches. Once I did one, I just laid the cut one on top and then marked it exactly like I laid my template. I laid this template on top and then scored it until it touched it. So that way I knew each one was exactly the same. So then once you have that, you have this score line. I just used my scissors and eyeballed it, and you're gonna cut from here to here. You can use your cutter if you want. So I cut here all the way up and then go back on this side and do the same thing. So line it up as best you can and then cut. So there's your shape. So now I know that each one of these are gonna be this size and each one of these are gonna be this side. So I'm gonna now embellish these, and I'm not gonna talk, well, I'm gonna have my music playing in the background, but you're not gonna hear any of that because I'm going to fast forward, speed it up, because I don't know how long this is gonna take me. So thanks for watching this part, and I hope you enjoy the making of. Hi, so now the fun part, embellishing the banners. I think there are 8 banners. I did the word create. It's for a spring theme swap I am currently doing. Right here I'm trying to get something for the bunny tail, but later on, not in the video, I put a little white pom-pom. I just didn't have them handy. This was actually very stressful for me. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do the tutorial because the way I craft, if you can't see it, but I have stuff everywhere on the outside of my table because I don't know what I'm going to use. And I was kind of overwhelmed. I didn't really know what I was going to do. This is my very first time doing one of these buntings, but I was like, you know what? I can do this fast forward thingy, and hopefully it'll come together. And sure enough, once I started doing it, it all started to come together, and I absolutely love how it turned out. So those flowers, the daisies from the dollar store, I just ripped off the flower and glued it down. I have to put some double-sided tape on the bunny because the flower was making it so it wouldn't sit flush against the banner back.
So, and I didn't want to squish it down, so I wanted it to kind of be at the same level as the butter or the flowers around it. So I put some double-sided tape on there, or I really don't know what this stuff is called. I don't know why all of a sudden I forget, but it's the thick, puffy tape. And Prima flowers up at the top left, a couple of Recollections flowers. So the banner says create, and I didn't want to just glue down the letters. I didn't want them to be flat. So dimension tape maybe? I don't know. So I used that tape throughout the entire banner. This is Maggie Holmes Flourish. Those little containers I got from Michael's, they come in the big crate. I think you can also get them by themselves. They're, I want to say $2, and then they're on sale all the time. Those butterflies are Maggie Holmes. So I use a lot of the Flourish collection. It's supposed to be spring theme. I put a few bunnies throughout, and I used florals. I didn't really do Eastery eggs and too many bunnies. I want her to be able to hang it up all the time. I was going to make one that said spring, but then she's only going to be able to have it up for a short period of time. So I figured the create would be nice. She may already have something that says this, but like I said, it's my first one, and I really wanted to make her one. And this collection is gorgeous and springy, so I used that. The background pages are a Maggie Holmes collection. I'm not sure which one. This is my gold thread or pink thread. This is pink thread here. I should have done this before I put the C down, but I didn't realize I wanted to do it. And now I get glue here, and it sticks to my finger, and it takes all the thing out, and it all comes out. So now I have to cover it up. So that's what I'm looking for now. It just didn't look right. It looked like hot glue spilling out everywhere. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to put to cover it up so it doesn't look like I made a mistake. And here's the winner, a flower. Again, these are from Michael's. They're kind of like crepe paper. Or tissue paper. They're tissue paper flowers. They're very nice and light and whimsical and fluffy. So again, I'm using the Flourish collection. That's on the left. And I tend to put a lot of florals on here. Sorry if I stop talking or if I make a mistake, but it's so hard for me to do these and then make a mistake all the way when I'm almost done with the video and then redo the entire video again. I'm still new at editing and doing all of this. So you just have to work with me and know that I'm watching myself right now while I'm doing my voiceover. So, that was me showing you the stuff that I get the feathers out of. This trim here is from Joann's. It's 60% off at the moment. It is so cute. The bunnies are gold. They have a gold lining around them, and they're adorable. I wanted more. They only had one, so I bought the last one, but they're just super cute. So here's my little touch of bunny Eastery in there. There's a couple bunnies throughout. I use a bunny piece of paper and another plastic bunny from the Cute Girl collection. So this is how I buy my feather. This is like trim or ribbon, I guess. Feather ribbon. I get it in the trim section at Joann's or at Hobby Lobby. I don't know if Michael sells it. Actually, I think I've gotten all of mine at Hobby Lobby. No, Hobby Lobby and Joann's. I've done both. The white one is from Hobby Lobby. It comes in a spool, and the pinks are from Joann's, and they cut them. They're by the yard, and they cut them for me. So I'm happy with this one. I put the doilies I put down before. I like the way it shows the stitching. So I eyeball where I want to put them, and then I sew them on there before I start doing it. I have in the past forgotten to put them on there before I sewed it, so I just place them on top. Sometimes I just leave them that way. Other times I pretend like it was always there, and I put another stitch over it, so it looks like I actually did sew it down, but really I forgot and went back and sewed on top of it again to make it look like I sewed it there. So here again with the whatever this stuff is called, somebody please tell me the proper name. I probably won't even remember because I use it all the time and I don't even know what it's called. Fat sticky tape, that's awesome, and it gives it dimension. Dimension tape. Dimension tape. So here I'm peeling it off. I back it with hot glue. I notice when I send my stuff, sometimes it all falls apart. Because I don't use hot glue. So I'm using hot glue from now on because I don't want the letters to come off during shipment. I don't know what happens when these things get mailed, but they must get shaken like crazy because the stuff, when I see people open them in my boxes, all the stuff is all over the place and not where I put it. So I really wanted to use this little frame. Once I've completed this one, looking back at it, it kind of hides the E a little bit. That's a good spot right where it is, but I don't actually end up putting it there. I kind of cover up the middle section of the E a little bit more. And it still looks really cute, but I should have I should have been a little more careful because it's kind of hard to see that it's an E. However, when you see the full banner, you know that it says create. So your imagination just kind of pulls in. And I also had to use that double-sided tape again because I'm raising the E and I didn't want the frame to smush down on the E because the E was risen. So I put a little bit on the corner and a little piece on the top. Hopefully it stays because I didn't use the hot glue, which I should have, but I didn't. And that way it's raised up above like the E and it doesn't squash it. I didn't want to just put it down flat because, like I said, the E is raised. So I had to keep everything kind of even. And I don't know if it would have been easier. It probably would have been easier if I didn't close all of them because I had this big long trail. And even when I was sewing them onto this ribbon, so the ribbon goes out throughout the whole thing, it was really hard to feed them through the machine because one would get in the way when I was turning it. So I had to twist it and move it. Next time, I don't know if I'll sew through both sides. Maybe I'll just sew through one side. That way I can add them all into the ribbon at the end. Although that's probably going to be harder because then all my stuff is on there. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this is my first time doing this. So I'm learning as I go. These are the little itty bitty ones are from Michaels. They're Flatback Pearls. I'm putting a little bit of glue just because they're so small. I'm always afraid they're going to fall off. And the bigger pearls were a gift in some Happy Mail. I can't remember who gave them to me, but I love the pearls. I love the way they just add a little bit extra texture to it. So here's my bunny paper. I covered most of it up with the doily, but there are bunnies. You can see the one on the right and a little bit at the top. Here's my little other bunny. That's from Cute Girl collection, Crate Paper Cute Girl. It's an older collection. I think I got these at Tuesday Mornings a while ago. I have had them forever and I never know what to do with them. They're like plasticky pieces, and so I'm putting it to use. It's supposed to be springy, so here's my springy bunny. Here's some ribbon or some trim that, did I buy this or was this gifted to me? I can't remember now. See what happens? All of our stuff just blends into one big pile of awesome stuff. So the glue is sticking to the table, so I'm trying to clean it up a little bit. And I'm also trying to keep the table clean because this is new to me to video and I don't want it to get overwhelming. I didn't realize that you could see so much of the other pieces of the bunting while I was working on it. So I apologize. I hope you can focus on the actual piece that I'm working on. But here's some more flowers. Some of them are from Joann's. Some of the darker flower is Prima from Hobby Lobby. And again, with the little light pink one, that's the tissue paper one from Michaels as well. So that little flower, the pink little flower card was from a swap. It came from Poland, I believe. I can't remember now. Those stickers, those embellishment stickers are from the Flourish collection. I've not used them yet, so I just opened them up for this. I've had them for a while, but I have so much stuff and I'm doing so many different projects that I tend to use my older stuff before I break into the new stuff. Otherwise, I'm never going to use my older stuff, but then I don't ever get to my new stuff. So they were appropriate for this. Since I'm using the ephemera from this collection, I figured I could bust out those stickers as well. So again, with the double-sided puffy, amazing raising tape of mysterious name. And I think it's pretty amazing. I'm not sure, I'm sure most of us probably have the same thing, but I've never made one of these before, and I love how it turned out. I don't have one in my craft room. I need one in my craft room, but who has time to make stuff for themselves? I don't want to make anything for myself. I want to make everything for everybody else. So that is why I don't have one. I might have to make myself one eventually. Oh, so here, sorry to cut myself off. How rude. That T, I didn't have any more of this paper, and I undercut the first time when I cut the letters out, so I had to use what was left, and it made this T have a little bit of a chip in it, so I have to cover it up on this tag. I can't remember what I put on there. I think a butterfly, and the butterfly wing hides the little dent. That stapler I got from, it's a mini stapler. It makes the itty bitty little staples. It is from TJ Maxx. Yes, TJ Maxx. I got it there. It came with a whole bunch of stickers, but the Tim Holtz staples also fit into that. So I've run out of the staples it came with, and I have the Tim Holtz staples in there now, and it works fine. So as I was saying, who has time to make the stuff for themselves? I always want to craft and make stuff for other people, but when it comes down to making stuff for myself, I could not be bothered because I'm always like, I could just make that. And then I never make anything for myself. I can make that. And then I never do it. So I make everything for everybody else. So I'm sure we are all in the same situation. I would love to have a bunting. One day maybe I will make one. I've wanted to do a bunting swap. I've seen a few people do swaps where they'll send it off and two people will do, you'll do like 2 and then send it off to another person and you'll do 2 and you send it to 4 people. And by the time you get it back, you have 8, you make yourself 2, and then they kind of match or use the same theme throughout, and then you have an entire bunting, and it's created by 4 different people. So that's pretty cool. I've wanted to do one of those. Adirana, I believe, did one with Lori Nunemaker, I think her last name is. I can't remember. I will tag Adirana's Instagram page on here so you can check it out. It was quite a while ago that I saw them do it, probably about a year ago now, or maybe not a year, maybe 6 months ago, 9 months ago, but I still want to do it. So eventually, hopefully I can gather some troops and make one of those. So this letter E, I wasn't sure what to do. See my little fingers tap, tap, tapping. I didn't know what to do. The bow paper is really cute. I like to have a little bit of the black in there to break up all the other colors. So I made a shaker pocket with it. I used tulle, and this little E, I'm putting the E on there. I have to hot glue it down, and up there in the top right corner, I accidentally cut off my banner when I was cutting off the extra yarn from the sewing machine. I was like, what? So I had to sew it on top, and I want to cover it so you can't tell that I made a boo-boo. So that's why I put that little bow there, and I didn't want to embellish this one too much because the shaker pocket is awesome, and I didn't really want to cover it up too much. I didn't want it to get too busy with the rest of the banner, and since it is a banner, you're not really going to be able to shake it, so if I embellished it too much on the bottom, you wouldn't see the whatever those are, sequins. But maybe I will go back and add some florals to the top left. I don't know. I'll probably leave it that way. Now, this one, I wasn't sure this is the last one, the end of my tail, and the banner says create. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to put words here, it has to make sense. You can't say create lovely happy. If it said happiness, so I'm over there in the corner trying to go through my words. Now I found 3 that work perfect. I've had these things floating around for ages. I almost threw them out because they were getting bent and they were bothering me and they were stressing me out that they had no home. So now they have a home and they're perfect. It says create, imagine, inspire, dream, which is perfect. I don't have any other silver in here, but I still really like the way this came out, and I like the colors with the pink and the whatever that green is. I can't think of it. Seafoam. These are little puffy puff balls that I glue on. I put a few little enamel dots on here and a bow, which I can't seem to figure out where I want to put it. So thank you very much for watching. I'm about to show you guys it completed. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I inspired you to try this. Again, this is my first one, so I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.